A lot of my wrestling channel has been built up because of the shorts I've done ranking different wrestlers. Now, a lot of the times these are blind rankings. I don't know who's coming up next. You're in the moment, it's personal opinion, but you're also trying to be objective. There's a lot of different variables to making those lists. However, it's not a true reflection of my actual top wrestlers. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my personal, there's no objective here, there's no, oh, but this person had better matches, or but this person didn't run WWE. None of that. This is just, if you ask me who are my favourite wrestlers of all time, which ones do I identify the most with, do I want to watch their matches, do I play as the games, do I just basically love in general, this is that list. It's personal to me. I'm sure yours won't be the same. However, this will kind of clear up who I put at the top and a little bit of reason why, but ultimately it's just because I love them. Before we get into this one, please do leave a big fat thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave a comment below who are your favourite wrestlers of all time and subscribe for more wrestling action. So let's get into this one. So I'm doing a top 6 because there was one guy that got left off the top 5 and I didn't want to honourable mention him because I just love him that much. I was thinking about it and I just couldn't shift him into that top 5. So at number 6 is the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. Now, of course, I became a wrestling fan in 2009. Andre had passed away for nearly 20 years at that point. That just goes to show how influential this man was in the WWE or WWF at the time. He passed away in '93, but of course, even before he became like mainstream in terms of like when WrestleMania came around in '85, Andre was a huge part of professional wrestling, and even myself now, I'm still finding new footage of him in those sort of older generations where he was fast, he was quick, he had an aura about him, which he did his entire career. He was like the full package of wrestler. But of course, how did I know Andre the Giant? Not personally, but come to know him, and as I say, because I didn't have that much access when I was a child or a young teenager to WWE. It of course was WrestleMania 3. The promo package that's been played to death, and it fascinated me. Any bit of content I could get on that rivalry between Hogan and Andre. I was a big fan of Hogan back in the day as well. I was just fascinated by it. Just this huge mammoth of a guy, this unbeatable guy, went unbeaten in WWF for 15 years. Of course, it's kayfabe, but still, it's mighty impressive. That just wouldn't happen today. They wouldn't allow it. So it's kind of like he's a once-in-a-lifetime superstar. And of course, didn't get to watch any of his matches currently in terms of when he was here, but what an impact and what a legacy he left on the WWE. He is without a doubt one of my favourite superstars of all time. Yes, he doesn't quite creep into my top 5 personally. Maybe that's because I didn't grow up with his matches. Maybe that's because there's a few people on this list that have impacted me more. But I couldn't leave Andre out. He's not an honourable mention. He sits firmly at 6th. The 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. So, moving into the top 5, and at number 5, I have put the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Now, I've always been a fan of Roman, like thinking back to like WrestleMania 31 with the match against Brock. He's always been one of my like preferred character players in the game. I've always quite liked what's happened. Of course, we had some dark days in there, you know, the suffering succotash, do we need to say anymore? So a lot of the time he wasn't looked at as being one of the guys. He was obviously pushed down our throats. I didn't want him to win at WrestleMania 32. How has he cropped into my top 5? Well, it's the Tribal Chief character alone. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with this in terms of like really transforming his career. I think Roman is one of the most important figures personally in the WWE. He brought a lot of fans back, and I feel like people don't give him credit for that. Yes, I've been watching WWE through 2009 all the way through to the current day. I've never stopped watching. Of course, there's been peaks and troughs. I've missed pay-per-views here and there. I've missed Raws and SmackDowns here and there. But as a whole, I've followed it every time. The Bloodline story and Roman Reigns coming back was a huge part of me just throwing myself into WWE again. Rather than just casually following it, watching pay-per-views here and there. I've always played the games, you know, I've always been a big fan, but it was Roman Reigns that really, it was like, yeah, this is something that we've got and we can hold on to. There's another guy on this list that did that for me more, which we'll get into in a minute. Of course, the 3-year reign, I really enjoyed. Okay, yes, most of the universe, WWE Universe, had enough of it. They were sick of the shenanigans. They were sick of the cheap shots. Everyone wanted Cody to win at WrestleMania 39. Not this guy. Everyone wanted Cody to win at WrestleMania 40. Not this guy. I could have seen another year or two of Roman's reign. I just think we mentioned it in the Andre the Giant section. The aura that Roman Reigns holds, his entrance music, the way he holds himself, his wrestling ability doesn't get spoken about enough. Yes, okay, the matches start slow, but he knows what he's doing. He's controlling a crowd, and I guarantee you that a lot of WWE superstars today couldn't do that. Yeah, they have faster paced matches. That's because they can't hold the attention of the audience like Roman can. Yes, this list it's literally my personal list. There's no facts in here, it's just personal preference. But I do feel like Roman Reigns, even now, doesn't get the credit he deserves for really bringing the WWE up to a new level, in my opinion. Like, he is a bona fide superstar, and I feel like we've already seen it now. He stepped away for a few months. Hopefully he returns at SummerSlam at the time I'm recording this. But we're now starting to see people like, we want Roman, we miss you, Roman. Like, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And I feel like more people are starting to appreciate it now. But at a solid number 5, it's the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. At number 4 then, we have got the guy that basically brought me back into wrestling in 2019. And that is, of course, Bray Wyatt, aka The Fiend. The Fiend storyline was what made me go, yeah, maybe I don't like wrestling as much as I used to wrestling is the greatest thing on planet Earth. And I solely attribute that to The Fiend. I was so interested in that storyline. I loved the character. I've always liked Bray Wyatt as well, and the Wyatt family. I mean, who didn't? But that character really, he reinvented himself and felt like he reinvented all of WWE in the way he was interacting, the vignettes, like the pre-retape, the Firefly Funhouse, the matches he was having, they were different. Yeah, there was some low lights like Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins, we all know that. But overall, The Fiend has such a special place in my heart, so does Bray Wyatt. Without him, who knows if I would have still been a wrestling fan today, because some of those dark days in 2018, 2019 were dark, and that was by far some of the best wrestling content I've seen ever. Fast forward, of course, we had Bray leaving the WWE. I was absolutely heartbroken by that. I thought to myself, like, what have they done? They fumbled it. He's one of the main stars. Fast forward, of course, 2022, he came back. And yes, the run was short. Yes, it's an absolute tragedy that he's not here with us anymore. There was so much more for him to do, for us to see him do, and so much more great stuff for him to do in the WWE. But even that return run, for as short and as limited as it was brilliant. And he was so great that his legacy and his ideas are still carrying on today with the Wyatt Six. Honestly, Bray Wyatt should be spoke up there with the greats, not just because he was good in the ring, and he was great in the ring, actually. He wasn't slow, he was quick, he was entertaining. His character work is honestly up there with the greats. And how many other superstars have created this aura around them where they've got characters associated with them? I can't think of any other superstars that have 6 or more characters associated with them, like Percy the Pig, the Buzzard, Uncle Howdy, like all these characters he's created, Alexa Bliss and her stuff. On top of the Wyatt family, Braun Strowman, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. I mean, just absolutely amazing. Like, top tier superstar. Love Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace. Absolute tragedy, but he sits firmly at number 4. Now for the top 3, we've got some, nostalgia. Of course it's nostalgia, it always plays a part. But in my opinion, for me, these are the 3 greatest wrestlers of all time. Most important, maybe not. Like, maybe the company would have kept going without them. But to me, these guys are the best of the best. So let's get into it. At number 3, maybe controversially, I have put The Undertaker. A lot of people's number 1, and if you said to me, Jack, my number 1 is The Undertaker, I'll be like, dude, fair play. Like, The Undertaker maybe is the greatest wrestler of all time. He's great in the ring. What character has lived for 30 years? reinvented himself in multiple different ways as well. It's the same character, but you've got the original Undertaker, you've got like the 95 kind of like Phantom of the Opera Undertaker, Ministry of Darkness, of course, the American Badass, the Return of the Dead Man. Absolutely amazing stuff. Loads of great storylines, loads of great matches as well. And like the thing that we appreciate about the Undertaker is not only is he cool, he brings people into wrestling because he's an interesting character. How long he's been doing it for? Like 91 he debuted. Suppose he was 91 and he didn't retire until what? 2020, I think it was. It was supposed to be 2020, wasn't it? Like absolutely crazy, and he's still obviously appearing today. You can tell me to go and watch any Undertaker match. Yeah, of course, I'm sure there's some stinkers in there, but I'm sure I'll have a great time because if the match stinks, well, at least his aura and his character's there, and that's what a lot of people on this list have in common. The aura that they carry around them. It's clearly a very important thing to myself. I'm not talking about wrestlers here. This is not the greatest, like in-ring wrestlers. This is not the greatest promo artists. This is just like my personal favourite list. And I didn't get that. You shouldn't get it, Siri, because this is my list. But it's about creating a feeling. Can you stop, Siri? Jesus. It's about creating a feeling in someone. That's what people remember feelings, and that's what all of these superstars have done for me. That's what The Undertaker has done for me, and I'm sure he's done for a lot of you as well. And number 3, solidly, is the dead man, The Undertaker. At number 2 then, I have put the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Now, what makes Shawn Michaels come over The Undertaker for me? I think it's the comedic aspect of it. So growing up, watching D-Generation X and some of Shawn Michaels and Triple H's lines as well, both of them, it was hilarious to me. Like, these guys were like my role models. They definitely shouldn't have been. I definitely should have been watching some of the earlier DX stuff at primary school age, but I did, and I loved it, and here we are today. I've turned out all right. Not only that, with Shawn, like, great promo ability, funny, but I mean, man, can that guy wrestle. Like, any Shawn Michaels match, I'm having a great time. One of my favourite matches, guilty pleasure matches, is Shawn versus Hogan at SummerSlam 2005. Of course, Bret versus Shawn, I recently watched that, like, wanted to watch it like start to finish. Fantastic match. An hour-long match. I don't think I could watch anyone else wrestle for that long apart from those two, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. The Undertaker, Bad Blood, another amazing match. The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25, one of the first matches ever watched, like pretty much one of my favourite matches of all time. Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21, arguably my favourite match of all time. Of course, the second match with Undertaker, the feuds he had with Triple H in the early 2000s. I could go on and on and on. Shawn Michaels is a once in, not even a generation, a once in a lifetime talent. Like, yeah, there's people that could be compared to him, Seth Rollins, maybe even Logan Paul if you wanted to do it. But no one has that, in my opinion, has the timing, has the comedic value, has the promo skills, has the flamboyance, has the general aura. That's nothing against Seth Rollins, by the way. The general aura of Shawn Michaels. In my opinion, again, one of the all-time greats. And a lot of people, a lot of times when you're talking about your favourite wrestler, you know, a lot of names get thrown around. Austin, Rock, Taker, John Cena. You know, a lot of very, very valid names. I feel like Shawn Michaels doesn't come up in the conversation enough. Yes, okay, he's not my number 1. I get that. Maybe I'm part to blame for that. Maybe he's a lot of people number 2s. I don't know. But I think for the impact he had in WWE, I think sometimes we all know he's great, but he is great. Like, don't forget that. Shawn Michaels, one of the GOATs of all time. Of course, so here we are, the number 1 spot. My number 1 personal favourite WWE superstar ever. Like, cream of the crop, baby. You might have already guessed it from my previous one. It's Triple H. Now, this is a lot of nostalgia for me. Triple H has always been my favourite wrestler. He was funny, he could wrestle, he looked the part, he looked great with the championship, incredible factions. I've just finished the SmackDown vs. Raw video. Like, I just don't know how you couldn't love Triple H. There was a lot of the time, you know, there was a period of time where people were like, Triple H, how is he your favourite? Now people seem to be, you know, coming on board. Of course, now even more of a reason with his booking. Like, he's pretty much hitting W after W at the moment in the booking department currently. But for me, it boils down to, again, aura. Like, Triple H could play the comedic character, early D-Generation X, the return of D-Generation X. Like, he was funny. Like, especially as a kid, he cracked me up. Now he cracks me up. He's a funny guy. He can put it on in the ring. No, he hasn't had the matches that Shawn and Taker have had, maybe. But any match that he had, I always really liked as well. Killer entrance. Like, the game is like one of the best entrance themes ever. My favourite ever is Roman's, but the game is probably second underneath there. I just don't think that when it comes to complete package, the promo skills, the in-ring work, the character work, the big moments, the aura, the entrance, the politics in behind the scenes, if you want to get into that, I just don't think there's anyone better than Triple H personally. There's a lot of nostalgia in that. If my nostalgia brain wasn't in it, maybe this list would be different. If we were talking about objective best wrestlers of all time, if we were talking about promos, we were talking about in-ring work, maybe he wouldn't rank #1. But in my personal list of all-time greatest WWE superstars, Triple H sits firmly at #1. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. After many shorts and blind rankings, that is my personal top 6 WWE superstars of all time. But a big part of this is to start a conversation. I would love to know who your favourite wrestlers are down in the comment below, whether it's WWE, TNA, AEW, New Japan, I don't care. Let's spread some positivity. If someone's your favourite, shout about it. Comment some down below some of their favourite matches. I'll check them out. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please do leave a like if you did enjoy, and of course subscribe for more wrestling action coming at you very soon. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you in the next video. See ya!